So we had 25 sales calls. Most of them didn't show up, and the rest of them didn't know why they were there, and literally ended up with 0 sales. And it might just be the most frustrating thing trying to build your coaching business, having to convince people that my program is a good idea. So today's episode is going to be all about creating warm connections out of cold leads, and we're going to focus on the human side of sales.
And I think this is interesting because cold leads, what does that really mean to the business? And I see that happening a lot, that coaches are focusing a lot on, I need to get clients. I need someone who wants to buy my stuff. And what ends up is that they are trying to convince people or move people too fast through the funnel. And when you move someone through the funnel who's still cold, and what does it mean? Like being cold? Like they don't know who you are, what you do. They're not really like connected with you.
Yeah, it's not like they're living in Sweden as what you do. It's winter time, and they're freezing, and they need some warming words. So like you deserve the best.
They just need to really move forward. And what happens is that try and text someone in your DMs who's a cold lead. Yeah, you probably won't get answered, or you get very short answers or very cold answers back. Rejection. What happens is that you get stuck in that feeling of, I need to convince people about my program is a good thing. And we know, like in marketing, the most important thing to have is know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And that is what's lacking.
Yeah, and it's the foundation of marketing. I mean, it's everything in marketing. If there isn't no like and trust, there will never be a sale.
Yeah,
it's not for the coaching industry. It's across the board, all industries, everywhere. But I think it's really if a warm connection. So if I'm connected to someone and there is a relationship, there is something to talk about. There is a context. There is something to like kind of start the conversation. An interest. I would say that is the definition of a warm lead, and cold lead is the opposite.
Yeah.
And what happens, and what most coaches, especially when they're starting to like, hey, I want to grow my business, I want to have a steady income, I want to get clients every month. The most common thing that people find out is that I'm going to start an ad. I'm going to run ads to a landing page where they can book a call, where we can have a conversation about how we can help them. And that's where our client started out before he met us as well. And he had 25 sales calls. Most of them didn't show up, and the rest of them didn't know why they were there. So it was kind of a conversation about like, hey, like me, or like, hey, this is who I am. Yeah. And it's just such an uphill battle. And we must have a way of work to build that connection first, so that they have an interest in what is it that we're going to talk about. And I know that in our sales calls, we don't even take them if it isn't that there is an interest, a genuine interest to have a conversation with us to begin with.
So there's actually different things to look into, because it doesn't really matter if you do paid organic marketing. We preach doing organic marketing at least in the beginning of your business, because it is easier to warm up people. It's easier to get that human connection.
And also build social validation, right? Yeah. Because when you run an ad, people see you. People see you for the first time. If they're curious about it, where are they going to go? You're going to go to your social pages and see like what is this? And if you have 40 friends on Facebook or 30 followers on Instagram, and you literally have 0 content about what it is that you do, of course there's not going to be anything to build.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a context to kind of like dive into.
So it's literally more about what the market looks like. Because as I said, we preach organic marketing if you're just starting off. I understand paid ads is a really, really good way of growing your lead gen, getting more leads into your funnel, but you need to know your funnel works, which means you need to have a system to take care of those people who comes in, for you to warm them up before trying to push them through. But what happens, and I understand, right? Because it's not that many years ago, we started the coaching business a bit more than 5 years ago. I would say you might have succeeded at that time, but it would still be hard due to the fact that at that time there was less competition out there, which means that if you have a potential client, if you have a lead, and they were looking to get some result, and they were looking to get a coach, or looking to get help with some specific niche or issue they wanted to get help with, there wasn't that many people speaking about, which means that if they saw an ad from some person who was speaking about the thing they wanted to have, they would be interested in, okay, let's have a chat about that. But today, the market's so different, it's so saturated. There's so many people out there, and so many coaches. The competition is way higher, which means that the same people who are going in looking to get help, they're being exposed to ads about that thing, about that topic everywhere. But they're also being exposed in their DMs that people are reaching out, connecting with them. What is different today than it was just 5 years ago is the lack of trust in the marketplace. People do not trust anymore. Everyone feel like they are being sold to. And even though people do want to buy coaching, no one really likes to be sold to.
No, but I think that's a very big part of it. I think it's very important. And also, if we're looking at the industry of coaching worldwide, it's grown so much. There's so much more money being put in, like from people into coaching today than it was 5 years ago. So that's the good news. But what it does is that it attracts a lot of shitty offers, because there are always people who want to sell the easy thing. There are always people who want to kind of create this golden facade of if you do this work, you're going to become whatever topic we would like to take. We could take it in any niche. Like it could be finances as well as become happy in your marriage. But if we drag it out, or if we blow it up to its extensions, there are so many shitty offers. So people also have been burnt.
Yeah.
Because people are spending more money in coaching. So and hiring a coach, they realize that this wasn't a great experience, and it ruins it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the best coach out there is absolutely not necessarily the best marketer or the biggest coach out there, because it's not enough to just be the best person delivering. You have to be able to communicate effectively and build relationships, and that's a skill set. So there are a lot of people out there that are really good in sales and marketing, that are really pushing that, like the fuel into getting new clients, but has a really shitty delivery process.
Absolutely. That's how it is. So if we're looking into the problem of dealing with cold leads, it's just been worse. And I understand that if you are somewhere where you need to make money, and you come from like that emotion of need, I need to make money, I need to get clients, where it's easier to get to is trying to push it more forward, like trying to get it faster. But the fastest way to get someone into your funnel and become a client is not necessarily trying to get them from A to B the quickest way, because the fastest way to close a client is sometimes doing a detour. What does that mean? It means that no matter if you do it organically or if you do it the paid marketing, we cannot just go out and do either ads or content that is, hey, I got a program, you want to buy my stuff. That kind of content just doesn't work anymore. So instead, we need to start building up that relationship, but it comes from wanting to do it. So those coaches who are actually successful in sales and marketing will also be the coaches who actually care about the people. And it's not just there to sell, but are there to actually help people and understand the market, understand the human being, the person they get into the funnel, no matter where, if the funnel is paid or organic. Instead of running ads towards book a call, that is just way too soon. What will happen and what happens? We just spoke about our client, like he's a client now, but when I spoke to him the first time, that was literally what had happened. He was running ads, and it was a VSL. They came into VSL, video sales letter is that standing for? And saw that 10-minute video, and then they booked the call. Most of them did not show up because they did not have that emotional commitment to the thing he was offering. They were just curious enough to book a call, but not curious enough to show up. It wasn't important enough to show up. They were not didn't the leverage enough to actually show up. And when they showed up, it was more like, so what do you do? Like, it had no clue what he was doing, no clue why they were really there. They were just like, yeah, you asked me to book a call. Now I'm here, so tell me something.
Yeah, sell me on why this is a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a hard sell to do. I mean,
Absolutely.
experienced salesperson, that's a sale.
But yeah, and the problem with it is not necessarily that it's a hard sale only. It's also a very stupid conversation.
Yeah,
You know, like if I meet someone, if I go out to a bar and I wanna meet people or I wanna hang out with people and I go up to them, like the worst thing that I can do in order to get connection with someone at a bar is trying to sell who I am. To be like, hey, here I am. Maybe you want to hang out. Like, it's never gonna work. What works when you're building a connection with people is find something to connect about, and that is not like you're not gonna connect to someone about you.
No.
So if you're starting a conversation having to present like, hey, this is who I am. You want to talk to me? It's just super awkward. And like in order to like help.
That's such a good example.
Thank you. It happens sometimes. But a thing that it is super good and effective in order to help ourselves to kind of understand and get a first idea of what quality does my sales funnel bring is to first of all ask ourselves this question, and it is, what do I see about my funnel, my sales funnel? We draft it down. And then how do I feel about delivering this sales funnel? And it's not like, do you have a hard time selling? You can be super comfortable with sales, but still be kind of awkward with this thing isn't like awesome, because clarity and spotting it is the first thing. So 2 questions. What do I see about my funnel? What do I feel about my sales funnel? And then the last question might be the most important one. What would it feel like to be a lead going through this sales funnel? What would it feel like?
And that is the key in that.
Of course, but in order for that to make sense, you first need to break it down for yourself. Like, I love my sales funnel. I see that it's full connected, and it should be watertight, and it should lead leads from not knowing me to buying my program. And then what do I feel about it? Yeah, it's super comfortable. I almost have to do nothing. It's an automated funnel to a sales page and a VSL, and then they book a call. I show up for the call and I close them. I feel good about it. And then ask yourself, okay, so what does it feel like going through it? Okay, someone pops up, a face I've never seen before, pitching a call. They're watching a video sales letter with the intention of like selling it's 10 minutes. It's harder than speed dating, you know? I'm trying to sell someone on, it's a good idea to book a call to have this kind of conversation about buying my program to get this outcome. And then they book a call, and then they show up. And then they have forgotten the VSL. They have forgotten the thing that made them book the call, because it's not a rational decision that is based on severe logic where they invested half an hour contemplating, should I book? No, they just booked it because something spoke to them. We have no idea what it was. Then they show up for the call, having forgotten the emotion that they got, that thing that they spotted. You still don't have any connection. You still don't have anything to go on. So you have to do all of that face to face in a call where they are set up to kind of be a little bit closed, where you have to convince them that, like, I'm a good person. I want the best for you, and I want to appreciate you for being on this call.
So I really love the fact of what does it feel like? Because going back to, people do want to buy coaching, and we want to qualify them rather than pushing them through. It's about, is this the right thing for them, rather than, hey, please do buy my thing. And rest assured, no one buys your program because you want to sell it. No one buys it because of you. They only buy anything, investing in themselves because of themselves. So it needs to be their journey. And as you said, it's not about you, it's about them. It's about finding something to connect about them, some common interest, but their journey. What do they want? What is interesting to them? What we know today, we have different languages in marketing for the process of warming up the leads. And if we look back just a few years, we would say, in order to make someone going from cold to be able to qualify them, get them ready, get them excited, get them interested in you and want to have that, like, really want to chat with you about, curious about joining your program, we would need about 20 to 25 different connection points. And just listen to that. 20 to 25 connection points, but there's still people running ads, book a call. That's 2 connection calls. Hey, run an ad, that's the first one. See VSL, that's number 2, and then book the thing. It might be number 3 and an email. They might have 3 or 4 connection points before they show up at the sales call, which means your conversion rate will be very low. The show-up rate will be very low. And what the reason why we're talking about that?
It might be 4 connection points at most, but they're consciously planted in a sequence of a funnel, which means that they happen instantaneously within the same context about one thing.
So there's no break in between.
No, and you could argue that it could also be one touch point, and that's it. And it's just important because when it comes to building a relationship with a human being that you don't want to sell anything to, that's not the way that it happens. Like if I send you 4 SMS, I'm interested in you, I want to get to know you, and I get your number for some reason, and I send you a text message, and then I wait 5 minutes, and then I send you another, and then I send you another, and then I send you another. It wouldn't build a strong foundation.
No.
Like, hey, let's build a relationship, let's become friends. What it would do is that you would feel that okay, so cool, 4 SMSs, a little bit much. Okay, I'll just continue living my life doing whatever I did before I got those SMSs.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand out.
Because that was 5 years ago. What has happened due to the massive inflow of new competition and AI and everything that's happening, and people's attention span is really low. Today, we need rather maybe 30 to 35 connection points before anyone is ready to take that move forward. And if we translate that to how much do they actually need to see from us to feel connected to us, to feel the trust in what we do is interesting and see themselves like being a part of our world. It is about 7 hours of content they need to consume if you want to have the highest conversion rates on the back end of your funnel. And what does the difference between having low conversion rate and high conversion rate is quite simple. If you have 10% conversion rate, you need to have 10 sales calls to get 1 client. And if you put in 10 hours for sales calls, you only get 1 client from that. Let's say you instead have 70% conversion rate. You get 7 clients for every 10 call you have. Sure. That is another game. Your business could be completely different. So we need to have those funnels working before we amplify with ads, because we need to be able to give them more. They need to see more content today than they did just a few years back.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah. But that also means that if we're running paid ads, instead of like running them directly to your call, we need to run ads as a lead gen machine, but instead of moving them directly to your call, because that would be waste of your time. And now I'm speaking at the place where you do not have a triage, like a closer or setter, and you do not have full scale teams, because your funnel will look different depending on where you are.
And how much resources you have.
Of course, it will be different. So right now we talk to coaches who are doing less than 30K a month. So if you're at that point, you're better off getting them into run paid ads, but getting them into an organic funnel where you get them through processes, warm them up and connect with them, qualify them, dig in to understand them. But it all comes back to being a human, because that's where you started. It's all coming back to just having a human side, like being curious about people, having a genuine interest of the people.
Yeah, and any relationship is built on finding commonalities, like finding common interests or values, or something that we share, an interest for coaching or an interest for a specific movie or whatever. And when it comes to organic content, the thing that you can do organically that you can never do with an ad is be personal in a way that isn't awkward. If you're super personal in an ad, it's just going to pass everyone. So in order to stand out with an ad, you also need a very strong hook, and you need something that captivates their attention. And if that is about you and you sharing something personal, it's going to pass them by. So, but what we can do organically is that we can mix. We can mix about sharing our values, where we come from, what we prioritize and what we do. And I can share about our family and our kids. I can share about big events with our daughter or whatever, because it's my social page. It's me. And it's so much easier for people to connect to me if they can get an insight to what I prioritize and how I speak about you and how I speak about our kids and how I speak about the stuff that I care about. And then I can mix that in with also speaking about my passion for my business. And that's the real kind of leverage and strength that comes with organic marketing. Because there are no rules to when I speak about my business, it must be this way. And when I speak about my personal life, it must be this way. It's my fucking social page. Excuse my language, but it's my social page. I can do whatever I like. So with that basis, we can understand what are the principles that builds strong relationships. Okay, so there are a few things that I don't want to do on my social page. It might be that I don't want to talk politics because it's just off. It might also be actually that you do want to speak politics, but I've never given that advice. Like, speak politics, I think it's going to be a good idea. But what it does is that it creates a very distinct platform where following a few key principles, being personal, you don't have to be private necessarily, but personal, so that people can get to know what you value and what you care for, and then talk about your business in an inspiring way. And it's not about hey, I got free slots in my calendar, or like I can now sell my new program. You want to buy my new program? That's not a social post because it lacks context. But we can speak about what happens in the business. We can speak about the breakthroughs that we're going through. We can speak about we can talk about the achievements that we achieve. Hey, I really want to celebrate the last 6 months. The last 6 months, I've done something that I've never done before, and this is how I feel about it. And I'm super happy that I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this on a daily basis. That's not an ad. It's a very personal post about your business and your passion for your business. So easy to connect to compared to I have open slots in my calendar. You want to book a call? You want to talk about how I can do distance healing?
No, so because it's all about having a human side, and absolutely that goes in our content, but it definitely goes in a relationship building.
Yeah.
And I believe too many are trying to avoid building relationship because there's different things coming in the way. One of them being the significance. Well, I'm good. They should come to me. Having that ego thing, holding them back from building connection. I need to look professional. They need to come to me and buy. But I believe the biggest one is the fear, the imposter. I'm afraid of they will judge me. What would they think of me if I reach out to them, if I have a conversation? How would they think about? Would they believe I'm pushy? Would they believe this thing? Would they think this thing about me? So there's more of the imposter in the way of connecting. And when we say connect with people, we mean use your chats, use your DMs, that have that personal dialogue. Because in content, in ads, it's not personal. It's you're speaking one to many. You have a mini audience. But when you go into a chat, into your DMs, it's one-to-one. It's a personal conversation from a human being to a human being. And that is way different. And we use chats and we recommend chats due to the fact that if you do the same on emails, you can do individual emails. But the thing is, first of all, a lot of people do not answer emails. They do not open emails. But it's also shown that it comes from a business. It comes from something like
Feel like an ad.
you can use it. Emails are really good as an add-on. It's a little bit too slow as the only way, but it's really, really good. But it needs to be like really valuable. So let's concentrate on the DMing because that's where you can have a personal dialogue. So how do you build connection with a human being on the chat?
Yeah, and let's just like why chats? You need a relationship with someone, and you only have so many options. So you can send voice memos, you can send DMs through social media, you can call them, you can SMS them, you can email them. The reason why chat works is because it's very, very non-dramatic. It's very easy to just like be able to get a DM. It's not too close. It's not too invasive.
How to treat that though? Because it's when you are starting the chat, what you want to avoid is definitely like those cold DM people. We can find all of those cold DMs from people who just have a long line of text. Hey, I have this thing. You want to have a meeting with me? It's horrible. Don't do it. It's sleazy and it's horrible.
More important, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work either. So what it is really about is having a natural way of talking. Hey, Thank you for connecting with my content. Thank you. I appreciate you. Slow and steady, like build up a relationship and don't send like regards my name. It's not an email. It's very important to speak to someone like if they were in front of you. It's the person in a room in front of you. How would you speak to someone if they were just in your face in front of you? That's a natural conversation.
I like that. I really like that because think about it. Always think about it as if it happened in real life. So if you were at a dinner party with me, you and I didn't know each other, and you shared something. We are a small group of 5 people. We're talking, and you shared something. I tell you that, hey, I really like that share, which is you making a post. That's what you did. You shared something. I said I really liked it. What's the natural response from you when I say that I really like that share? What's your natural response?
Thank you.
Thank you. But that's really my point. You say, like, you share something, I say I love that. You say, oh, thank you. So why not just say thank you?
Yeah.
Like, why not just thanking for the engagement? Because what it does ultimately, no matter if it's like it's not a lead of yours, it's not a person that you can sell to, it doesn't really matter, because any like and any engagement on your post is going to have your post being seen by even more people.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing that people doesn't understand. We need to fuel the algorithms and we need to work with the social media tool the way that they are designed to work.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up. We actually made a training on how to get more conversation starters going. So I will drop a link. If you watch this on YouTube, I'll drop the link so you can go in to see this full training and get the resources on how to get more chat conversation starter, build more relationships. And please do subscribe, follow for more, and connect with us. You find our links below to our socials. Ask us any question. We appreciate you for following, listening in, and we do want to have questions to make this podcast even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see you next Wednesday.
We will.